wanted to talk today a little bit about the concept of journaling, keeping a journal, why I keep one, and how you can use journaling as sort of almost this hyper sigil of positivity and power and strength and critical thinking in your life. Over the last 30 days in the Lupus Ludus online training group, we've been talking a lot about meditation and journaling and their positive effects over other areas of life. I've personally been keeping a journal and journaling almost every day for the last about 24 years, ever since it was recommended to me during a homeschool co-op creative writing class. And it's a habit that I've used and utilized over the years in a lot of different ways. But here are some of the most positive ways that I've found to use it. I dealt with a lot of depression and anxiety, as a lot of people who follow any of my videos know. And one of the most powerful ways I think a journal can be leveraged is if we start out by writing every single day. This is the most important thing that we can do at the beginning of journaling. So pick up a loose leaf notebook or anything that you like to write in, or you can pick up one of the Operation Werewolf official master logs, or anything that you want. And take that and start journaling with it every day. And when you set down to journal, it's very easy to get stuck in this idea of telling your journal your problems and sort of focusing on a lot of the negative things that are going on with you, because oftentimes we tend to write when we're not feeling good, or when we're feeling frustrated or negative or sad or whatever. And so we turn our journaling process almost into this sort of negative reinforcement, where we write when we feel bad, and then we feel bad when we write. And when we look back through our writing, it brings us down to the same place that we were when we wrote it. So we want to first break this habit by starting out fresh and starting out strong. I tend to meditate usually a little bit before I start journaling and sort of clear out a lot of the stress and anxiety from the day, so that I don't start out by writing about that, and I start with a fresh slate every time I sit down to write. If I'm having a hard time doing that, or if I'm having a hard time feeling positive, what I'll do is I'll start out writing out quotes in my journal by hand that make me feel powerful or strong or positive. Quotes from people that I read, or books that I like, philosophers that I really like, or that just make me feel strong and powerful. From there, if that's not helping, what I will do is I'll write about a time in my life or an experience that I had that inspired me or was meaningful to me, or again made me feel powerful or positive or happy or calm. And I'll start there and go from the tail end of that into what's going on with my day, because it sort of springboards you into it. The other thing that you can do is try to create the habit of speaking to yourself with your writing from your higher self. And what I mean by this is you can write to yourself basically from the place within you that is the best. Almost like giving yourself advice from the future. And this is a way that I write to myself often, especially when I'm struggling with weaknesses, or if I'm looking to overcome a bad habit. My writing will basically be written to me from a future self who has already overcome this, or who knows exactly what needs to be done to overcome this. And this is a habit that you can sort of develop, of speaking to yourself from this place of strength that exists within you. Another thing that you can do is if you've established this as a habit for a long enough time, you can start out by reading previous entries, because since all of your entries will be positive and strong, you can put yourself into the mindset by reading back through the journal. And this is one of the strongest ways that the journal develops itself into a tool is the thicker it is and the more time you have, or the more journals you have. You know that every single thing in there was written from a place of victory. And when you read that, you can't help but start to rise to the occasion and have to find something positive to say. On the hardest days, my brother Seth is fond of saying, just take the W. And what he means by that is, on really difficult days, or days that seem like there hasn't been a whole lot of positive anything to talk about, we have to find and identify whatever the W, whatever the win for that day was. And we have to take it and say, some days that small victory is enough. If I had a shitty day in the gym, I was in the gym. If I didn't make it to the gym because something happened, I have to find some other thing about that day that was positive. Even if we can only look at all the hardships that occurred to us that day as a way to become stronger or as something that we had to overcome and get past. And then we can say, even if I sit down to journal, this is a habit that I said that I would keep, that I'm keeping. That can be the W for the day sometimes. You know, and from there, we can also write about things that we're looking forward to, things that are on the horizon that are positive, that we're making plans for. Or if we don't have anything that we're looking forward to and things seem bleak, we can start writing something that we would like to do, and we can start planning for that. And the final thing, obviously, that journaling is for, that I use it for the most, is the self-fulfilling prophecy. And of course, by this I mean setting goals and tracking progress on those goals. So every single day that I sit down to write, one of the things that I write about is what I did today that was in line with one of the goals that I laid out for myself at the very beginning of the journal. In the master log that we have, you can get it through Amazon.com if you look up Operational Werewolf Master Log, but at the very beginning of it, it starts out with these pages where you set up your goals and then you write down the objectives, basically trackable progress markers that you need to achieve in order to hit that larger goal. And so then every day you can at least be writing about something you did that got you further along that track. So I hope this helps you out, and I hope that you consider picking up, whether you pick up mine or something else, or you just pick up some loose leaf paper and start writing as a habit, because it is one of the strongest ways to connect an idea and bring that idea into reality by writing it down on a page with your hand, with pen and paper. You start to tell your brain, these things that I'm writing down are important and these things are real. And so when you write from a place of positivity, of power, of stability, and of victory, you start to build this journal into a tool, almost a grimoire that you can come back through that will bring that self up into a place of victory, because you're setting a habit and you understand that victory is a habit.